Hey guys, what is up? It is your girl Mandy here from Louie and Bougie. I hope you're all doing amazing. I have a very exciting video for you guys today, and it is all about my engagement ring. You guys requested on Instagram that I film this for you, so I wanted to further discuss all details when it comes to my ring. Me and my fiance did do the ring shopping process together, so I do know all the specifications and specifics when it comes to my ring. It also helps that I am in the jewelry industry as well, so I do have a lot of insight and knowledge when it comes to the diamond picking process. So I'm gonna kind of go through that with you guys today and talk about the specifications in regards to my specific ring, all the info on it, because there is a lot of fun stuff that kind of went into my ring. And then I'm also going to share with you guys some products that I found to be helpful in terms of being able to maintain, my hands, the hand area, the ring, all of these things, and just some things that I found to be helpful with this process. So if you guys are interested in seeing, then please stay tuned. Okay. Let's start with the basics. So, as you guys can see, this is my lovely ring. It's kind of hard to zoom in because the sparkle does tend to kind of, give off a glare with the camera, but this is my gorgeous engagement ring. And of course, I'll take it off and show you guys some more close-ups as I'm talking and further discussing. But as you guys can probably tell, hopefully, from this video here, I have an oval shaped diamond. So this is the oval shaped diamond here. And I'm going to kind of break down everything for you guys, from the setting to the diamond itself, and kind of tell you guys more information about both. So we're going to start with the setting first and then kind of work our way to the center stone and talk about all the things. So as you guys can kind of see here, this is my setting. I got it from Gabriel Co, and they are based in the New York area. This is a platinum metal setting, and I do prefer platinum over white gold for engagement rings personally, just due to the maintenance that's kind of involved with white gold versus platinum. I do find that there's a little less maintenance entailed with the platinum. However, that being said, platinum is known to be a little bit more of a malleable material, whereas, white gold is a little bit more sturdy and solid. However, that being said, if you were to, have anything happen with the metal, white gold would break off, whereas platinum would kind of just warp. In terms of the metal, like if you hit it or ding it really hard a certain way, and you're rough with the jewelry and stuff, and God forbid something happens to it, platinum would kind of go like, woo, and like kind of be in the opposite direction, whereas white gold would kind of just like break off. So that is something to consider, as far as when you're picking out your metal of your engagement ring. That's personally why I prefer platinum. Also for the reason of the maintenance, where you have to keep re-rhodiuming your ring in order for it to maintain its color with white gold, whereas platinum will never lose the white color of the metal because platinum is a naturally white metal. So that being said, long story short, that is why I decided to go for platinum. I kind of always knew I wanted that for my engagement ring. So that is all well and good. And then as you guys can see here, I have diamonds on both sides halfway around. There's 6 diamonds, and they are set French pave style. So what that means is that there are 4 prongs surrounding each individual diamond on the setting, which I personally prefer a French pave because that adds additional security and safety for the diamonds, so that they're well protected on the setting. So God forbid you bump it, you knock it in any way, it's a little bit more protected versus a sheer prong setting, for example. And if you don't know what sheer prong is, I'm sure you guys can Google it and kind of know a little bit more of what I'm talking about. But that is personally why I specifically chose French Pave and Platinum. And I also chose to have the diamonds going halfway around for kind of a similar reason, because I didn't really see the point or the use to having diamonds going all the way around on my engagement ring, just because you do kind of, use your hands, but you can bang your hands up against things. So I personally didn't want, to have any diamonds chipping or getting crushed or falling out or anything, because that's always a risk, when you do have diamonds going underneath your hand. So I personally did not want to do that. Now, as far as other features of the setting goes, this little piece of metal or bar of metal underneath here is considered a cathedral. Now, what that does is that actually lifts the diamond, so that way you can layer any kind of wedding band really underneath or next to it, and it will kind of lay more flush. Whereas if you don't have a cathedral setting and it lays more flush to your hand, like the stone and the diamond, it is a little bit more challenging to find a wedding band that will work with that. So that is why I decided to do the cathedral setting, so I have less of an issue with being able to match or pair a wedding band with it. So that is why I chose that aspect. And then as you can see here, or it might be kind of hard to tell, but I do have eagle talon prongs on top of the stone. So if you can kind of see that, it's a little bit thinner on the top of the stone, like a little claw shape. And underneath it is quite substantial, as you can see, like they're pretty thick, sturdy prongs, but on top they kind of thin out in almost like a talon or claw-like structure. And I did ask for that because I wanted there to be as little metal as possible with that, with still protecting the stone, obviously, and making sure it's held in place. I want it to be very secure, but also not have too much metal on the stone. So that is why I specifically asked for the eagle talon claws on my ring. So that's just a little synopsis as far as the setting goes. I am going to take a sip of water just because this is going to be a lot of talking and kind of explaining. So I want to make sure you guys kind of know the ins and outs of everything. So the craftsmanship behind Gabriel Co is amazing. The way that they make their settings and everything is honestly awesome. So I love everything, obviously, about my setting. And the last feature I will say that I forgot to mention is that the diamonds I have on my setting are actually graduated. So they start bigger and then go down to be smaller. And the band kind of tapers as it goes underneath here. It starts thick and then kind of tapers down. I personally chose that because it does look very nice, very elegant, a little bit more feminine, because it almost looks a little bit more dainty when it's on the finger versus if you have the same thickness all the way around. So you can kind of see how it looks from the side profile and when it's on me. I just found that it looked a little bit more, pretty feminine, different, when you see the graduated diamonds, because it's still starting big and then getting smaller. So I kind of loved the way that that looked. I thought that that was personally something a little different and not something you see all the time. So I kind of love that. So those are all the specifics in regards to my setting. I ended up getting a size 4.5, which is like kind of crazy how small my fingers are. I did not realize. I thought I would be like at least a 5, but when I sat down and really measured myself, a 4.5 was the best size for me. So that is always good to know, and I always recommend getting yourself professionally measured because it really does make a difference, especially when you are going to pick out your ring. And there's always fluctuation factors too, so you do have to keep that in mind, like when it's cold versus when it's hot out. If you've had alcohol to drink or salt or any of that stuff, that can all kind of affect when you're sizing yourself, the accuracy. So that's always something to keep in mind. I actually had to go a quarter size smaller because I had a little bit of alcohol the day that I got professionally sized. So that did actually affect my sizing, and I had to go down a quarter size to make it a 4.5. So keep that in mind, or bear that in mind when you are going ring shopping. Try to be mindful of that as much as possible. That being said, if you do have to size down for whatever reason, that is way easier than having to size up. So God forbid, if you get a little bit bigger and you need to size it down, that's usually a pretty quick and easy fix. So now we're going to talk all things about my center stone. So as you guys can probably tell, potentially through the camera, it is an oval cut diamond. My fiance and I did decide to do a natural diamond. I personally really love the natural diamonds just because I find that there's a little bit more symbolism with it, because it is coming from the earth, from the ground. It's a little more rare because they do have to actually mine for it. And I personally just like the idea of having a natural diamond a little bit better than a lab diamond. And I knew that I am totally open, like these earrings, for example, my favorite earrings are lab diamond, and my bracelet that I'm getting is going to be lab diamond as well, but this one's natural and this is natural. Personally, for me, it's just my preference to have a natural when it comes to rings and necklaces, and then I'm open to doing lab when it comes to, earrings and bracelets. So I kind of mix and match almost a little bit, but I knew for my engagement ring, I definitely wanted a natural diamond. As far as size goes, this is the famous question that everybody asks me. They're like, how big is this ring? So my diamond is between 2 and 3 carats in size. And people are usually shocked when I tell them this because it looks like at least a 3-carat diamond. Now, the reason for this is because of the patented cut of this diamond. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. This is a very specific patented cut oval from the designer Christopher Designs, and he's also based in the New York area, which I think is kind of funny because, both designers are based in New York. Completely different designers, but nonetheless, but still. So I absolutely love this diamond because, like I said, it does appear larger than it actually is because of the way this diamond is cut. And that is why I always tell clients that I work with that the cut and the color are the 2 most important aspects when it comes to diamond selecting, and especially for an oval cut diamond, because the cut and the color is really going to determine the sparkle factor and the brightness and whiteness of your stone. So those are the 2 most important things, in my opinion, when it comes to selecting a diamond. So I knew that when looking at stones, and I love Christopher Design cut diamonds because they are cut more shallow, and I know it will be kind of hard to see. Oh, so you guys see how you don't really see normally with oval cut diamonds, like the brilliant cut, they'll have like a little point kind of underneath here. You'll see like a point down into the setting. My diamond does not have that. As you can see, it is a shallower cut. So therefore, there's more diamond on top, like facing up. So you will see more stone on top, and it's not going to be losing diamond as it goes into the setting. And that is personally one of my favorite parts about this diamond specifically, and about Christopher Design diamonds, because they are so well cut. They also have a faceting pattern in here that is absolutely gorgeous, which also prevents from having that bow tie effect, which is very famous for the oval-shaped diamond, and some are better than others in terms of the bow tie, depending on how they're cut, and again, what the color is for the diamond. But I didn't have to worry about that with this specific cut of diamond because there is no bow tie whatsoever with the cut of his diamond because of how he cuts it. And this is a patented cut. So only Christopher Designs can do this cut. And I absolutely love it. I love it so much. I fell in love with it. As soon as I got into the industry and I saw his diamonds, I was like, yes, I knew that that was the specific cut of diamond. If I was going to get an oval cut diamond, that was the specific cut that I wanted. Now, as far as specifications go, I mentioned the carat weight of my diamond and the type of cut of the diamond. Now for the color, like I said, that's the second most important thing. I ended up getting an F color, which is considered a colorless diamond. DEF is colorless, and then when you go the next kind of thing over, GHIJ is near colorless. And then when you go a little lower, that's when you start to see a little bit of yellow in the diamond. Now, I went for the colorless because, as I said, with the oval diamonds, it's incredibly important to get a higher color because it really does show with this specific cut of diamond. So that is why I opted to get as high of a color as I possibly could while still remaining within the budget. And lastly, the clarity of my diamond is a VS1, which means very slightly included. So you actually cannot see any imperfections or anything to the naked eye. You would have to use a magnification device to be able to see anything. And I know my diamond has one little tiny inclusion, birthmark as I like to call it, at the bottom of my diamond. So I do know that because I did use a magnification device to be able to see that. So that is awesome. So that is all the specifics with regards to my center stone. I did want to touch on a couple little things that I purchased for this ring. I have 2 ring boxes that I purchased, one for travel and one for at home, to kind of keep my ring in when I'm not wearing it. It's so important to take it off when you're showering, sleeping, swimming. Even when I wash my hands, I take off my rings too. So it's very important to have a nice little home for your ring when you're not wearing it. So I have 2 of these. And then I also thought of getting a travel ring for when you're in a situation where you don't feel comfortable wearing your ring with you. So I ended up buying from this brand online called Object Story, which I didn't hear about until I looked on Instagram. And I bought 2 of them because I said, why not? One has no diamonds on the side, and the other one does. So this one looks pretty, and they look pretty similar to my ring. Obviously not exactly similar because these are cubic zirconia, and my ring is, a diamond. But nevertheless, I think they look really good considering that these are just travel rings. So I highly recommend them. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but I did find that their travel rings are pretty reasonably priced, but also pretty convincing looking. So it's good to know that there are those options out there if you don't want to be traveling with your ring or if you're going somewhere where you don't feel comfortable doing that. So it's called Object Story, and that's how it's spelled. And I mean, these look pretty good considering they're not actual diamonds. So I knew I wanted to get a travel ring of some sort for when I am going somewhere where I don't feel comfortable wearing my ring. And lastly, in terms of maintaining my hands, this is something that I've incorporated on a daily basis, multiple times a day, is hand cream. I cannot recommend this hand cream enough. This is the Christian Dior Le Balm, and if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with this stuff. I cannot say enough good things. It's unscented, it's very hydrating, it's amazing. I apply it twice a day, every single day, to keep my hands hydrated so they don't look ashy and gross when I'm wearing my ring. So I highly recommend this hand cream. And last but not least, the Touchland hand sanitizer. If you guys have not tried this hand sanitizer, I highly recommend it because it is not going to strip your skin. It's not dehydrating in any way. It's a spray, it smells good, and it doesn't leak in any bag or purse that you're carrying. So I highly recommend this stuff when you need to sanitize your hands and you don't have a second to clean your hands in between. This stuff is amazing to keep your hands hydrated, not dry, but still sanitized. So those are all my recommendations and all my details about my gorgeous ring. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a long, kind of detailed video, but I hope this was helpful for you, especially if you are in the ring shopping process or you're considering an oval diamond as well. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.